Hello and welcome back to another video on my channel AI for Lawyers, where my goal is to show law students and lawyers how to be on the frontier and cutting edge of AI technology and tools that we can use in our practice to work smarter. All right, so let's make our lives a little bit easier, and today I'm going to show you guys Midpage as I'm researching through a criminal procedure question, and that would be what are the Brady and Giglio requirements of prosecutors in finding misconduct of officers involved in a case and then overturning those to defense counsel. And so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I recommend people do when they're using an AI legal research tool is to refine or engineer your prompt. And so what I've done here is I've gone ahead and I've given a lot of context to my question. I've tried to already make it a legal question, but it wouldn't hurt to include facts as well, any and all relevant context, and you're asking them to help you refine the question. Here I've opted for natural format as opposed to Boolean, but you could do the alternative, you could ask for both. And I told it what my goals are, and so it's going to do a lot of the legwork for me and give me a better, more polished prompt. So here I've got that. I'm going to go ahead and copy it, of course, after I've already reviewed it, which I have for the purposes of this video. So let's go ahead and do new chat, and I'll show you how this works. So I just pasted my question in here after I've refined it. I'm going to search it. Here's the same question, and here's what we got. All right, so here we've gotten a really nice rule statement. I see Brady, Giglio. I would expect those because those are mentioned in my prompt. Kyles v. Whitley is expected to be seen when you're in this line of cases. All right, United States versus Brown. All right, and so here we can see what they say United States versus Brown is talking about. If you want to go ahead and confirm that, the really awesome thing is you click it. You don't have to open a new tab. That's what I always feel like I have to do in WestLaw. And then, okay, we've got the quote it's drawn my attention to. That's great. Let me click it further. And here it's going to auto-generate some suggestions of interesting quotes in the case. All right, so I like that a lot. We'll keep that one. And here I can click to add this to my notebook. All right, and so I've already kept this suggestion last time I went through. Now let's go ahead and look at some other cases. Alorwarnu. Okay, recognize that even if investigator is not called as government witness, there might still be some obligations. So let's look more into this. Here we've got two comments. Again, I've already gone through this one and looked at them. I said this one was helpful. Okay, so there are instances where this doesn't have to be overturned if it is not going towards guilt or innocence. All right, so that's really interesting. Again, we're going to add that to the notebook. Let's go ahead and check out the Hines case. 5 comments. Let's look at what was suggested here. All right, Brady 3-part test. Okay, we know that. We're familiar with that. Favorable. Many courts have addressed this question in this context. Many have held the government is not obligated to disclose unfavorable information about officers it does not call to testify. That's extremely helpful. We really like that. So let's make sure to add this to our notebook, as I've already done. District Court distinguishes cases requiring Giglio, Brady disclosures. Okay. All right, so here we see a distinction where if it is the lead investigator on the case. So that's really helpful to see. The courts have drawn a distinction. Is this someone who's kind of a peripheral agent? Are they just a part of it? Or are they the lead investigator on the case? Let's see what other comments are here. All right, Hines could not have used, so this says you, because again, I've already gone and hit keep on the suggested comments that I liked, just so I knew kind of how I was going to structure this video. Could not have used the undisclosed evidence about Bush to undermine the cocaine evidence in a way sufficient to entitle him to relief under Brady. Although Bush's disciplinary history is indicative of a lack of candor and violations of department policy, it does not include any history of tampering with physical evidence. All right, it's blameworthy and beneath the standards of an officer, but it is too great of a stretch to suggest that he tampered with evidence as a result of it. So again, we really like this. I'll just say note. All right, and we've got this added. So that's kind of, so far, I'm very happy with the results. I can show you, and maybe I'll do another video on this, a very similar prompt, if not the exact same, because I generated this one yesterday when I ran it through WestLaw. And I did not have nearly the success. Specifically, it was not honing in on the nuance that this is an officer who's not testifying. It kind of just focused on the initial area of law, which is this is Brady, Giglio, progeny. And then it just was giving me very general rule statements, not tailored to what I was specifically looking for. And I don't know if I've showed it in this take yet, but being able to ask questions here, I think it was in this case where we have an individual named Bon Giovanni, and we're able to ask it questions. So let's just make sure this is the same one. Yeah, so Special Agent Bon Giovanni, but let's say we just came in later into the case looking at things, you can ask questions. Was Bon Giovanni a lead prosecutor or a lead officer, investigator? Okay, and it gives us a little footnote here. He was the lead agent on this case at the time of the controlled buys. All right, takes us right there. So again, that is a very cool feature, being able to talk to the cases. And the last thing I'll do is I'll show the notebook. And here we've got Hines, Brown, and Alorwanu. What are relevant And so when you ask a question, it creates a new column, and it is going to ask and speak with each of these cases and give you that. So admissible, not useful, impeachment of the non-testifying officer, absent hearsay use, speculative tampering. Okay, so again, kind of already went over this. Cumulative testimony, issues immaterial. Yeah, so if it's not actually going towards the guilt or innocence or anything relating to the investigation, it's not really helpful. So just general misconduct is not something that seems to be, a requirement of prosecutors to turn over. Agent's misconduct in other cases when the agent won't testify here, if the agent testifies, relevant impeaching info about a government witness. All right, so that was my check-in with Midpage and how I use it to answer these questions and preparation for my criminal procedure knowledge, my bar exam, and I plan on making more videos like this, showing off some of the use cases and benefits of it. I think it provides a lot of things that WestLaw and Lexis do not, and for that reason I will continue to use it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and have a good day.